Hello class, my name is Jason Fitzgibbons and this is my submission for the creative portion of my portfolio for Dr. Fontaine's Global History since 1750 course. Let's begin. Right here I gathered all my ingredients for a ceviche. Pretty much all of this stuff people usually have in their house already. I have onions and garlic, serrano peppers, cucumbers, cilantro, avocado, and tomatoes. The only thing I didn't have on hand was the Dover fish. I guess if I could go back in time and do this all over, I would probably use a salmon or a bass because those types of fish are more meaty and easier to cut into cubes than the Dover fish. The Dover fish kind of came in slivers, so they're kind of like weird looking bowls. The stuff to the left of my bowl is the stuff we're going to marinate for a half an hour to an hour. The stuff after the bowl, we're going to mix in gently after the fact. This fish, we are not going to cook at all. Like, I was kind of surprised when I saw that. It turns out by soaking it in the lime juice, it's actually going to add texture. It's going to make it more firm. And the citric acid, it'll actually cook it. It's called denaturizing it. So we'll begin. My spices right there, my olive oil, I'm just going to eyeball those after the fact. I never really follow those instructions. The only tools that you're going to need to use to make this dish is a knife and a cutting board, a garlic press. You can get minced garlic, but in our house we think mashing the garlic tastes better fresh than getting it in a bottle. I guess that's about it. Let's get started. So first I'm going to put the fish in the bottom. I'm going to put the onions on top of it. And also I salted the onions first. According to the instructions, by salting the onions for at least 15 minutes, it'll give the onions a more mellow taste, less of a bite. So we'll put that on top. Put the garlic right there. Here's my serrano peppers. And I think the key to making this dish too is you kind of want to chop everything up as fine as possible, because in the end, when you take your spoon to put it on top of a tostada or anything that you want to eat it out of, like, you want a proper mixture of each ingredient to hit your mouth when you take a bite. So now we're going to do the garlic press. These are like the biggest pieces of garlic I've ever seen. I never have used garlic this big before. It's nice. So put that back in there. Squeeze that back in there. Garlic piece one. Two. And three. Starting to look really nice. Okay. Now I'm just going to drizzle the lime juice over all of this. Make sure to cover the fish a little bit. And I forgot to get a wooden spoon. This dish is relatively quick to make as well. Like I said, there's no cooking involved. I guess the longest part of doing this was chopping each individual item. I think I spent, probably, I don't know, maybe a half an hour, 45 minutes doing that. So, I mean, it's not bad at all. I'm just going to stir this up a little bit to make sure, since, we're not cooking the fish, I want the lime juice to soak in it very well. There's a bunch of ways to eat this too. I don't know if you noticed this. I chose tostadas. The reason why I chose corn tostadas is I thought that was more of a Latin American feel. I saw people online. They would use, say, a coconut or a mini tortilla shells. So there's a lot of ways to dress this up and make it look nice. Also, as far as meat goes, like I said, you could use salmon or pretty much any fish. I also saw recipes that called for shrimp. That looked very good too if you're into seafood. So I think we're pretty much stirred up pretty well. The fish is in the bottom. It looks like it's going to soak up into the lime juice. The directions say to wait a half an hour. I'll probably wait an hour just to be safe. And then when we come back, we'll add all of this, present it on a tostada, and then my wife will try it and tell you how well I did. All right, you can go. So now we're ready for the next part of the project. We've marinated our fish and other ingredients for over an hour now. The recipe called for at least a half an hour. I did it over an hour just to be safe. Everything's looking nice. Everything looks saturated. The fish looked like it actually gained some texture. It was very, like I said, slivery earlier. Now it looks more chunky. We're going to add the rest of our ingredients and then our spices. And then we'll stir it up and present it on a tostada for my wife. So, I'll put the cucumbers in. Don't have to get it all. Avocados. Cherry tomatoes. I could have used regular tomatoes, but I like the taste of cherry tomatoes. And then cilantro. Actually, I'm going to put the cilantro on the end. I'm going to garnish it. So, like I said, there's actual measurements in the instructions for the olive oil, salt, and pepper. But I'm just going to eyeball it. I believe this is supposed to be a tablespoon. And then the salt and pepper is supposed to be a teaspoon. Okay. Actually, a little bit more. There we go. And then this we'll have to grind up. Is that enough, babe? Enough pepper for you?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. And then just a little olive oil. I believe the olive oil was optional. Okay. Now we want to stir lightly because the fish will probably be very fragile. We'll just keep turning everything over. Just keep turning everything over. Very nice color. Smelling really good too. The fishy smell has definitely gone away. The lime juice worked really well. Start sprinkling some cilantro in. Half the cilantro in. See, the key here was chopping it up really good. The mixture looks very even. Okay, put the rest of the cilantro in now. And it will cut right here, and in the next scene, you'll see a presented tostada. Now it's the moment you've all been waiting for. My wife Nancy is going to taste test my ceviche tostadas on your behalf and give me a final grade. All right, babe, come on.
Okay.
Just going to take a bite.
I don't know which one first. I'll take this one.
Yeah. Is it good?
Yes, I love this.
Take another bite. Let's see.
It's very good.
What grade would you give me? Sorry, I know your mouth is full.
A+.
Okay. And there you have it. This is a simple Latin American dish that Fidel Castro used to eat at one time according to his chef. And as you can see, even a person who is culinary illiterate can pull this off. Thank you, professors and Tamala, for having a great semester with us. Have a great summer.